Hello, and welcome back. In chapter 15, we're talking about social aspects of later life, psychosocial retirement, relationship, and societal issues. So we're talking about social involvement and being successful in aging, right? Aging is one of those things that we all fear, one of those things that we all look into as having negative consequences to it or negative expectations to it, whatnot. But again, it's that age can be the eye of the beholder and can come from different perspectives, right? But when we talk about successful aging, it denotes a pathway through later life that focuses on positive outcomes through health and social engagement to achieve well-being. So the continuity theory, people tend to cope with daily life and later adulthood by applying familiar strategies based on past experience to maintain and preserve both internal and external structure. So, competence environmental press incorporates elements of the biopsychosocial theory into the personal environment relationship. So, competence, upper limit of a person's ability to function in five domains: physical health, sensory perceptual skills, motor skills, cognitive skills, and ego strength. Environmental press demands that the environmental places on people. Competence and environmental press change through the lifespan. Positive effect can result from many combinations of competence and environmental press. And an adaptation level, when the press level is average for a particular level of competence. They talk about boundaries and the zones of maximum performance potential and maximum comfort. So each person has the potential of being well adapted to some living situations. When abilities match demands, people adapt. When there's a mismatch, they do not. So Erickson's stages of development. We talk about integrity versus despair, the process in later life where people try to make sense of their lives. Thoughts of death are balanced by realization that they will live on through the next generation. Or life review, the process by which people reflect on their life events and their experiences and things they've accomplished and things that they wanted to achieve or if they did achieve or not. Subjective well-being, an evaluation of one's life that is associated with positive feelings, right? Tends to increase with age. Arousal of the amygdala in older adults results in lower emotional arousal than younger adults. Change in the cognitive process and in prefrontal cortex, also associated with changes in emotional regulation in older adults. A strong sense of religion and spiritual identity helps many older adults deal with life changes. Religious adults have better physical and mental health than those who are not religious. Coping strategies that deal with spirituality, used to deal with problems that affect mental and physical well-being. We're talking about spirituality, still talking about spirituality later in life. A type of coping strategy that includes seeking pastoral care, participating in organization or non-organized religious activities, that greater personal well-being a person may have. Resilience on spiritual beliefs. People focus on their attention on parts of the problem that may be under control. African Americans in particular show a reliance on religion in times of stress. Spiritual support is a type of coping strategy. For older adults, turning problems over to God includes a three-step process. This means differentiating between what can be changed, focusing on parts of the problem that can be changed, emotionally, the disconnecting from aspects of the problem that cannot be changed. The neuroscience research provides evidence that those who practice meditation have more organized attention and memory systems. Brain activity changes with spiritual practices. Might meditation slow down or prevent the brain changes that underlie brain disease, such as dementia? Those things are unknown. So we talk about what we used to work at, and places, things that we used to do, right? Retirement in the U.S. only really became popular after World War II. Economic downturns can majorly disrupt people's retirement plans. As more people retire and live longer, the challenge to fund their retirement grows and becomes more of an issue or more of a concern. So, what does it mean to be retired? So, losing one's occupational identity can be difficult to face. Retirement is a complex life transition because again, at this point in time in your life, you're no longer working and kind of stepping back on those work expectations and some of those life ambitions and things that you were doing. Most workers retire by choice if they are in good health. Most choose to if they decide they will be financially stable. Due to the economic downturn, some older employees are accepting buyout packages. Others retire due to poor health, being fired or laid off. And achievement of goals through work or retirement is a major consideration. So new patterns of personal involvement must be developed in context of changing their roles. Most people report feeling good about retirement. Relationship between health and retirement is very complex. So employment and volunteering. Retirees must maintain social integration and be active in some ways. Some stay active through part-time and full-time employment. Senior citizens or club promote lifelong learning. Volunteering can benefit from well-being and to serve the community. Having relationships with others keep us connected. So the family and friends in later life become very essential. Talking about a social convoy, a group of people that journeys with us throughout our lives, providing support in good times and bad times. Friends and siblings. Older adults have the same need for friends as people do during the younger generations. Having at least one good friend provides a buffer against the losses that occur in old age. Older adults tend to have fewer friends and make fewer new relationships. So social emotional selectivity, the process by which social contact is motivated by many goals, including information seeking, self-concept, and emotional regulation. Older adults have recently been using online services for finding friends that may lead to dating situations. Siblings are usually the longest lasting relationships in a person's life. Relationships usually more important in later life than early adulthood. Many siblings share emotionally close relationships due to a long shared past. Older married couples show specific characteristics: selective memory and perception of their partner, reduced potential for marital conflict, and more similar in terms of mental and physical health compared to younger couples. Marriage in later life has many benefits. People tend to deal better with chronic illness. The division of household chores are more egalitarian. Based on limited data, gay and lesbian relationships do not differ in quality from heterosexual relationships later in life. Challenges of care and chronically ill partner are different than caring for a chronologically ill parent. Partners assume a new role as caregiver. Marital satisfaction with one partner that has Alzheimer's is much lower than average, and partners caregivers report more losses and intimacy and etc. But more rewards than older children caregivers. Widowhood. The death of a partner is one of life's most traumatic experiences. Women are more likely to experience widowhood than men. Loneliness is a problem major in widowhood. Families and friends and families may distance themselves during bereavement, causing more loneliness. Women and men experience widowhood differently. The more dependent on the diseased partner, report a higher increase in self-esteem. More tend to recover more slowly since they may not have a strong social support system. And women experience more financial troubles. Some widowhood adults cohabit and are remarried for reasons such as the need for companionship. Frail older adults. Adults who have physical disabilities and may have cognitive or psychological disorders where their confidence is declining, right? Everyday confidence must be assessed. Active activities in daily living, ADLs, basic self-care tasks such as eating, bathing, toileting, walking, and dressing. Instrumental activities of daily living, actions that require some intellectual competence and planning, right? This may differ from culture to culture. So housing options. Design and location of housing and support services is a major issue as the population ages. Household, an individual who lives longer alone or a group of individuals who live together. Almost older adults strongly want to live in their homes. There may be significant increase in the number of homelessness in older adults. The best housing arrangement for older adults depends on their health, her functional health. Functional health, the ability to perform ADLs and IADLs. So having that sense of place, the cognitive and emotional attachment that a person puts in their place of residence, right? Assisted living facilities, a supporting living arrangement for people who need assistance with ADLs, IADLs, but who are not so impaired that they need 24-hour care. Healthcare personnel assist with medications and other procedures. As residents become frailer, they need to be met by the facility. Their needs need to be met by the facility. Long-term facilities provide medical care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 5% of older adults live in long-term care facilities. Average residents are very old females. European Americans are 50% chance of having dementia, depression, or both. Decision on whether or not to place family members in the facility is very difficult. Important factors when considering a nursing home. Is the quality of life offered? What's the quality of care? What's the safety? Right? And some miscellaneous issues, right? Is there outdoor space? What's the location? Proximity to family. New approaches blend nursing homes and community-based living. Emphasis on living well rather than receiving care. The eat-in alternative. Programs that eliminate loneliness, helplessness, and boredom from those who are in long-term care facilities. Creates a community where life is worth living. The Greenhouse Project creates small neighborhoods, integrated homes from 6 to 10 residents. There's 7 categories of elder abuse: physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, financial and material exploitation, abandonment, neglect, or self neglect. Researchers estimate that 1 in 4 older adults are at risk for some type of abuse. What puts an older person at risk? Elder adults is development from a longer ongoing relationship between the abuser and the abused. So government funded retirement programs such as Social Security have benefited older people. 1.2 trillion expected to be spent on Social Security and Medicare in 2015, right? There's questions like, will the U.S. government be able to continue funding these programs as the population ages? Social Security began in 1935 by Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's intended to provide a supplemental to saving and other kind of support, not a primary source of income after retirement, and the only source for many. Financial pressures to reform Social Security and increasing numbers of employment sponsored plans may turn Social Security back into a supplemental income. So Social Security is funded by current workers, payroll taxes. By 2030, there will be nearly twice as many people collecting Social Security per working paying than working actually paying into the system. 50 million U.S. citizens depend on Medicare for their medical insurance. 4 parts of Medicare. Part A covers inpatient hospital services, skilled nursing facilities. Part B covers costs for physical physicians. Part C is offered by private companies approved by Medicare. And Part D is some coverages for prescription medication. And finally, Medicare is funded by the payroll taxes. Faces the same dilemma as Social Security. Again, will it be there as we age and as the money has been spent? Many people are opposed to Medicare because it's government run, and significant cuts in expenditures have already taken place with Medicare.